Obviously, yeah, you always see me sort of pumping here, pump faking or whatever it is. That is a feeling of me sort of somewhat trying to feel the same. I hate it when my left arm gets out. That's my fault. So for me, when I'm pumping it down like this, I'm trying to keep my back to the target. I'm trying to keep my left arm drop. I want my left arm to drop and stay connected to my chest. Now, I'm never going to get the club into that position because as soon as I bring rotation in, the club always gets pulled out in front of me. But when there's no momentum to the swing, that's my feel. So when I'm even on the golf course, I feel like I'm doing this, but as soon as I rotate to the left, the club's in delivery.
Go up ahead to the 17th, Justin Rose.
Another player who spends time out here in the desert in preparation for the West Coast. It's a beauty.
I get to the top of my backswing. I like to feel that I stay closed halfway down. So basically I'm feeling like my left arm is dropping down my chest. As I stay closed to the target. That does a couple of things for me. It helps my rhythm, it keeps me very patient off the top of the backswing, and also it helps me keep a little bit of lag and a little bit of angle as I come down into the ball. One of my faults is when I get a little bit quick and I unwind too early, and when that happens I have to hit the brakes essentially and wait for the club to fall into the hitting zone, and hence I have to time impact so much more, and I end up actually losing the face through impact. But when I make this move, and I really wait for it, now I put myself in a position where I have to turn very aggressively through impact. So I can pivot much faster, much harder, much more powerfully, and that actually stabilizes the face through the hitting area. I have a drill that I do often on the range, and you'll often see me before I hit a ball in a tournament. I'm often sort of rehearsing a feel that I want to make.
Feel the club drop into the slot. This is very much a feel versus real drill, but be careful as you're doing this because you don't want to be getting your trail elbow stuck and behind you, but rather externally rotate so you can get the arms more in front as the club stays behind. And this is such a powerful drill because I mean, look at this position at P6. There's a ton of lag, and I know this is very much exaggerated.
Now that feel looks like I'm putting the club way behind me, and the reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to create the sensation and the feel in my body that I need to hit the golf shot. So if I was to, I don't want the club to be here in delivery, that's way too far behind me. But as soon as I bring rotation to the target into play, this feel turns into that impact delivery. This feel turns into that impact delivery. This feel turns into that impact delivery. So if I was to rehearse this, i.e. getting the club in front of me, but then I put in momentum with my turn, now that club is thrown out. It's a little bit like the water skier. Like if the boat is turning, the water skier gets thrown out. So I'm the boat and the club is the water skier. So essentially, as you're turning to the left, centripetal force tends to throw the club out. So I'm trying to put the club in a position where I can now turn, and then that club gets a free ride into impact. So even though it looks like a technical thought, I'm not really really looking at the exact positions. I'm just trying to create a feel, and a lot of that feel is making sure I'm staying on my right leg, into my right hip. One of my faults is I'll get into my left side too early, and then the club's too much in front of me. One of my faults is I'll get into my left side too early, and then the club's too much in front of me. One of my faults is I'll get into my left side too early, and then the club's too much in front of me. So by staying here, letting my left arm drop as I stay closed, and by closed I mean my back stays to the target, my back stays to the target, my back stays to the target. I'll never actually be in this position, but the sensation is there, and as soon as I put some speed and turn, everything's going to be in a nice delivery position to hit a proper shot. So feel and real are two completely different things. So here's my feel.
I play in a lot of pro-ams, and people ask me, what do you think at the change of direction? From your backswing, top of your backswing, to start of your downswing. And I always try and feel that I've made my full turn, get my shoulder behind the ball, and from here, it feels like my left arm and the shaft is just dropping. It's just falling down to the floor. So although, I mean, I'm doing it in the motion here, your swing is moving. So you feel from here, the club is falling. So just falling from your shoulder down in turn.
The sequence of how we start the downswing is incredibly important, so maybe I can demonstrate one for you. I feel like I have to have a lot of patience. It's very easy, once we get to the top of our backswing, to start turning too early. But if we turn too early, we then have to really wait through impact to time up the club. So for me, when I get to the top of my backswing, the left arm drops. I feel like I keep my back pointing to the target. I then get to a position where I feel I'm nice and heavy in my feet. I'm creating down forces. And then from this point, really, the down forces that I've created start coming back up through my body and really pull me left, pull me through the ball. Okay, so here's a bit of a drill that might help with the moment of truth. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little bit of a head start. We're going to build a little bit of the moment of truth into the backswing. So to hit the moment of truth, I think it's really, really important to have good wrist conditions and potentially a lot of stored energy and a little bit of right wrist extension that we maintain in our downswing. But it's also maybe really important to create that in the backswing. So one drill I really like for that, and it's a great sequencing drill anyway, is that we take our normal setup, and what we're going to do now is we're going to knock this ball away, but just focusing on the club head and the hands doing most of the work. I like to often feel that the club head gets outside of my peripheral vision before I start any body turn. This is going to help us, I think, achieve a position where when my left arm is parallel to the ground, we're creating a nice 90-degree angle here and our wrists are fully loaded. So that doesn't give us any work to do in transition. As we turn left, we hopefully should have a lot of maintained and stored energy in that right side. So it should look something like this. I'll show you what that looks down the line. So that's a nice hinged position. So all I've got to do now is turn to the top, unwind, and I'm nice and shallow. Okay, if you're a player that's struggling with your hand path being a little bit too in on the backswing, here's a way of thinking about it. And actually this is a little bit relevant to my swing at times. So if you take your backswing and your hands are diving on the inside, very good chance that your right elbow is also diving too far deep behind our midline. So often we have a seam on our shirt, and I try to visualize that my right elbow never gets behind my midline there. So one drill that I'll use is I'll put my left arm across my chest and just use my fingers here to create a nice little barrier, so that when I take the club back, even though I'm turning my body, my right elbow cannot move behind me. And as I continue up to the top of my swing, I'm in a beautiful slot. And the other thing that it really helps me with is the slight external rotation that we need in our right arm to sort of be underneath the shaft at the top, which is going to give us a very strong position in which we can really turn our body through the ball and have the club tracking down nicely from the inside. So it's a little bit of a 2-for-1. So for me, it's really important to swing the club in balance. Basically find a position, and you can use one hand or just using a second hand to support the club. Where does the club need to be? Once you let gravity take over, fall back towards the ball. Once you let gravity take over, fall back towards the ball. Once you let gravity take over, fall back towards the ball. As you can see from here, if I get the club in a bad position, i.e. too much behind me, the club head being behind my hands, and I let the club fall, it's going to bottom out way behind the ball, but also you can see it's swinging way too far in to out. The other thing that I think is really, really important is that we think about the ball position in relation to our left armpit. The club always wants to return in a straight line with our left arm. So for me, ball position relating to your left arm is more important than relating ball position to your feet. So let's see if I can demonstrate for you guys. So if you're struggling with your upper body out racing on the way down, here's a very simple concept I'm going to give to you, and it's actually something I've played with. I actually remember being at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, playing with Tiger Woods, using this exact feel myself. So, can you skim a rock? You know exactly what it looks like at least, right? So obviously if I was to try and skim a rock and my upper body was out racing, I'm going to stick that rock right into the water and I'm not going to impress my kids. So what are you going to do? You're going to get to the top, you're going to keep your right arm back, your left hip's going to open out, you're going to stay forward bent and turned, and you're going to skim that rock. That feeling will definitely take care of this problem.
Crystal rainbow, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometimes. make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you, when I think of you sometime. And I wanna...
Another thing I tend to do is hang back a little bit, and then what happens here, if my right side is slow, the left arm runs away from me. So by having the swim paddle here, it makes me really move my right side aggressively through the ball. Like I said, just really trying to feel like my right side is powering the shot. So another thing, you know, one of those benefits, what you'll see there is, as I make my follow through, you'll notice how much around my arms finish. They're really quite low. It's another thing, so if I was to make a poor swing, I would right bend, my shoulders would get quite steep, and then my arms would track quite vertical through the ball. So for me, again, it's just more laying down like good feels, good habits, right? That are always going against my tendency. I'm really trying to feel like I get my chest down in transition. That for me is so important. It keeps my ass back, which is important because as soon as I do this, I'm now going to right bend. So for me, from the top, I'm just trying to feel like I'm reflexing as much as I can. And obviously the downswing happens so quickly that it's imperceivable to even see the effect of that feel. But also what it gives me is the ability then to jump and turn on the way through. Once you get onto the driving range, something that helps me kind of slowly gear up is what I call an incremental drill. The goal really is simply the first ball, just chip it about 20 yards down the range. So the reason I call it the incremental drill is basically the goal of the next ball is to hit it 1 yard past the previous shot. This does two things. It helps me basically slowly get loose, but it helps develop a little bit of feel for the day as well. And it's some sneaky short game practice. No doubt you guys don't have a lot of chance to practice your short game, so this is a nice cheating way of doing it. All right, I've got my eyes on the previous shot. Bit of a funky bounce, but I'll take it. So when I'm chipping, I'd call this a chip kind of graduating into a pitch shot. So I'm really not using a ton of wrist, especially in the backswing. I'm carrying the club, and then I really feel like the most important thing for me in the through swing is that my upper body rotates more than my lower body. That basically keeps it nice and shallow and doesn't put too much energy into the ball. You know, if you're hitting a driver, you want your hips to go first and have some lag in the club. With chipping, you don't want any lag. So I'm always trying to feel like there's a really wide bottom to the arc. So, you know, even if I hit slightly behind the ball, like that, I've got some forgiveness. If I was too steep and I hit behind the ball, I'm in big trouble. So, you know, just hit one or two more for you. Okay, I've got eyes on that ball. Let's see if I can execute here properly. That one looks like it might be good. Yep, 1 yard past the previous shot. So, you know, it's something I just use to help develop a little bit of feel. And after I've done that for maybe 5 to 10 shots, I'll graduate up into my next drill.